Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. This is Africa for you. Strange things do happen in this world. There is a message that I received from our dear sister who is saying that she is currently staying in Gweru, Zim, and she said that she has her own story that she wants to share with me so that I can post it on our platform. The message reads like this. Hello my brother, how are you? I have my own story, or let me say it is a family history that I want to share with you. I grew up in a family whereby most of our grandparents and my brothers, most of them, they are traditional healers. Not that there is anything bad about someone being a traditional healer, because even before there was Christianity, there was traditional healers that were assisting people. So it is very, very important that we need to respect our traditional healers. Some of the medicine that we actually buy from the pharmacies, it's only that the Western countries, when they arrived here in Africa, they then learned all of our traditional ways. They took all the good stuff, then they made the bad stuff to be very evil. They never portrayed the traditional healers in a good way. There are traditional healers out there that can actually give you the gift of wealth without you ever becoming a ritualist. I come from such a family. The only problem that happens in most of these families whereby a lot of people are traditional healers is that human beings are human beings. A lot of people will start fighting for spiritual power. If the great ancestor of the family will then choose the child that would have been born in a very poor family, then the rest of the family members will feel so jealousy. That is why there are so many rituals, because here in Zim, our culture of traditional healer was a clean one, because we believe that our ancestors, because as for our ancestors, they do not allow anyone to shed blood, but because of jealousy, there is a way that people do manipulate our ancestors so that blood can be shed. This thing is what exactly happened in our family. Growing up in a family that had a lot of traditional healers, people were always fighting for powers that were given to us by our ancestors. So here in Zim, there are those girls that are called the girls of the river. Some, they say that they are the river goddesses, and other cultures, they say that they are mermaids or marine spirits. Then there are the spirits of our ancestors who were great hunters when they were still alive. So these gifts, my brother, they bring wealth into the family, and these gifts, they cause a lot of jealousy in the family, because if this gift is brought into a poor family by the ancestors, the other relatives, they will then start to ask as to why the ancestors chose a poor family over a wealthy family. This is what happened in our family. When my father was born, he was born with a gift. He was gifted by our great ancestor who was a hunter. But then there was trouble, because some of our relatives, they then started to fight with my father even from the day that he was born, because they wanted to steal the gift from him. And when this happened, that was when our grandfather, my father's father, went and visited another traditional healer so as to strengthen himself. That was when the troubles started, because when he went to that traditional healer, he returned back to his compound with that traditional healer. They wanted to make a trap so that witches can never get into his compound. So that witch doctor then told him that he was supposed to dig 4 holes in the corners of his compound, in which he did. Then in the center of his compound, he was given a nail, but this nail was made out of wood, and he then was instructed to dig in that nail into the middle of his compound. And so he did. My brother, after the death of our grandfather, that was when my father found out that all of those charms that were buried at the corners of his father's compound had transformed themselves, and they had became something like a very powerful charm that cannot be controlled. even up until today, my brother, we are still using these charms. So when these charms transformed themselves, then they told my father that sacrifices had to be made each and every year. When my father was still alive, these are the sacrifices and the rituals that he taught me. He taught us how to choose and how to consult the traditional healers that were going to assist us so as to perform these rituals. The way that we performed these rituals when our father was still alive and even up until today is that we go to the river. When we go to the river, we would have a flock of sheep and goats, and we then drive the flock of sheep and goats into the river. I do not even know what kind of a creature then devours all of these goats and the sheep that we drive into the river. But each and every year, whenever we go to perform this ritual, I have never seen a goat swimming to safety. Growing up, I used to think that maybe all of those sacred rivers that we choose to go and perform this ritual, maybe those rivers, they had some crocodiles. But my brother, I once chose this other river that I knew that it didn't have crocodiles, but when we went there, the same thing happened. When we chased the flock of goats and sheep into that river, they acted as if there was something that was really powerful that was dragging them down. My brother, we have been doing these rituals for so many years. As for my brothers, they are in the business of gold mining. Whenever we go to perform these rituals, one of my brother that has a mine, when we come back, sometimes his workers can come out of the mine with about a kilo of gold. Yo, dear listeners, right there was a message that I received. It was sent to me by one of our dear sister. She said that African spiritualism is not bad at all. It is only that when colonialism happened, then the whites decided to make it look very bad. Please let us try to speak with her in the comment section.